Bulldogies are undefeated, 5-0 for the first time since 1993. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Kennel NRL podcast that celebrates the undefeated, undisputed Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. And with me to enjoy it all is my good mate, my co-host, DIBBO. Welcome, DIBBO.
Welcome, mate. Welcome, everyone that's tuning in. I think it's a good omen. If we're going back to 1993, if we remember correctly, the Canterbury Bulldogs that year went out in straight sets in the finals after getting the minor premiership. I think they were the first side ever to go out in straight sets. So good omens if they're 5-0 at this start of the season. Obviously, there's other stats. I'll give you other stats. The last three teams, I think Elmo's already revealed. Maybe one of his posts that went 5-0 to start the season made that year's grand final. I think John Sart's tuning in from Melbourne, so that's pretty good. I remember '93 like it was yesterday.
And just to remind DIBBO, his team did lose on the weekend
to the Wooden Spooners.
To the clear Wooden Spoon favourites. So look, he's trying to talk about omens. I'm trying to talk about my team being undefeated. You know, it's not the same. It really isn't the same, unfortunately. But in any case, hello, welcome. If you've just joined us, we have gone live about a couple of minutes ago. We were supposed to go live, a bit earlier than today, but it's never a perfect formula where we say we're going to go live. But thank you all for joining us today. John's in. John, welcome. Hope your flight was good. Reese has joined us as well. We'll be at the top of the ladder, round 6, as you say, at the end of round 5. We're absolutely pumped here at the Kennel. Even the Dragons supporters are pumped. The Dogs are absolutely flying at the moment. DIBBO, as a neutral, tell me exactly how great the Bulldogs are, please.
I was watching that game because, like an idiot, I decided to go in the office at a Sunday afternoon to do some voluntary work. I didn't get much done, to be honest. All I ended up doing was watching Canterbury and squash out Newcastle and then order a whole pizza for myself and demolish that. That defense was great. Newcastle just got kept to 0. That was the most impressive part of the night. And they still managed to pop on 20 points. Could have popped on a bit more, save for some desperate Newcastle defense. I think it was just impressive, even though it was only 20-0. Really impressive. They kept them to 0. That was what everyone took note of. Newcastle didn't have a real chance to even really score. Like, sure, they had half chances, but they got snuffed out. And it was just like, wow, they kept them to 0. Like, not even a try. That was, pretty. If it was a Newcastle fan, it was pretty harrowing. From other fans that watch it from a neutral point of view or just like watching footy, that was, these guys can make the grand final this year. The ridiculous house, I don't care how other people go, oh, what are you talking about? Last year they said they want to make the finals. They made the finals. They're within a win or two of making the 4. Look, this year I'm thinking they're at least preliminary final, and I'm not saying no to a grand final. They've got to obviously stay healthy, stay fit, keep doing what they're doing. It's not beyond them. They got the personnel now. They all click well together. So, it's not beyond them.
So what you're saying is, as a Dragon supporter, the Bulldogs are incredible, and we may just never lose another game again. Is that sort of what I'm hearing from you? That the Bulldogs may never actually lose another game again?
No, it's a bit too far-fetched.
That's sort of what I'm hearing at the moment. The Bulldogs are just doing that well that we may never lose again.
Look, I think even the coach. I think the coach would love to lose one eventually, somewhere along the lines, just to give his players a wake-up call. Like, Elmo seems to have disappeared.
Sorry, my lighting is just a little bit off today.
Anyways, I'll carry on for the fans watching back at home. There's got to be a loss somewhere, I guess. I think maybe.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be an off day. There's going to be an off day. You know, obviously it's going to frustrate fans. Just
Yeah,
gotta be
look,
expected.
obviously,
there's
obviously,
gonna
I'm
be an
talking a
away
little bit of
games.
shit. You know, I'm trying to put it on you because you're a Dragon supporter and your team lost to the Eels. I don't know how that happened, but you guys did lose.
Oh, that was
It's quite funny.
that was a terrible, very terrible performance. Suck
Yeah,
shit to him anyway. Honestly, suck shit.
bro, what
Honestly.
kind of supporter are you? Are you saying your team sucks shit? How are you not burning more? Or is this the way you show that you're burning? Because
No,
is that
no. I was, yeah. Obviously, if I'm gonna burn, it's like screw yous. Like, honestly, I said it bluntly. If Flanagan wants to keep putting his son, then it's just going to cost him his job, straight out. Well, I don't care. Choose the subpar halves. It's going to cost you your job in the end. Honestly, you're not going to sit there and say he's the greatest coach and they're the greatest players and screw yous. Nah, my team's the best. They're 1-3 or 1-4, however you want to put it. Like, honestly, like, suck shit. If they want to keep playing like a pub team from some country town, running the club like a pub, a country pub team that runs off raffles, and use nepotism to choose players, that their fathers work at the club. Yeah, run yourself into the ground. Run yourself into the ground. If you honestly, like, it's gotten to for a lot of St George fans. You want to run it
look, I'm with you.
subpar,
I'm with you,
and
man.
then you don't deserve to compete with the size like that are running in the top 8 like year in year out. No, you deserve to be at the cellar dwellers. Suck shit. Honestly, I hope somebody passes this on to them. Just put it out there. Flanagan isn't invincible. Like, yes, he's won a grand final, but he has his faults.
Yeah, look,
Michael Maguire, when he was at Souths,
I'll tell you who is
he
invincible.
stagnated, and then he had,
I'll tell you who is invincible. Cameron Ciraldo. That bloke is on face bulletproof at the moment. He is unstoppable, brother.
I'll tell
unstoppable.
I'll tell you what's good about Ciraldo. He didn't start off at the top. Remember, he had it tough that first year. He learned a lot of lessons. He knows.
I think we all remember how bad 2023 was.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out to you, he hasn't got his nose in the cloud. He didn't start off with a team that was handed to him, that was pretty much made, and like, oh yeah, he's had to build up the squad. Like, obviously he's had some help with the football department there with Phil, and there's others that deserve credit along there. But yeah, honestly, and that's the beauty about it. He started off, let's say, from the bottom. He hasn't started off from the top. Sasha, I did touch on that. Sasha Shopov.
It's a good point, Sasha. Peptides may have been.
Yeah. Agreed. Remember, I touched on this a few weeks ago. If you ever find the clip, ELMO, you can play it again. I actually went off saying, is Flanagan as good as they all make him out to be? Because he had a squad. I don't give a fuck. I hope Cronulla fans see this, because that is one illegitimate premiership, and it's mind-boggling how the NRL never stripped them of it. They were found to be rorting the cap 2 years either side of the premiership, but somehow miraculously not the premiership year. And then his whole team was on peptides, performance enhancers. Somebody please explain. That isn't corrupt. I thought St George should have started. Anyways.
Look. Everything you're saying is really just justifying how unstoppable and great Cameron Ciraldo is. Let me tell you, I reckon that Cameron Ciraldo will end up being a better coach than Wayne Bennett.
Far out. Almost like really putting his neck on the line. Nobody record this.
Look, it's all recorded. It's all recorded. This will be up on YouTube forever. Hey, and I'm going to put this up on Spotify as well.
If it works out, you can just play it again and again and again.
This will be up on Spotify as well. Look, obviously, I'm taking the piss. I'm just
Who's MKTV? MKTV.
One of the things, that now that the team is winning, and now that the team is performing well, it's just funny when you look back, like 18 months ago, we got walloped 66-0. And just to be able to, lap it up a little bit, have a bit of a laugh, go.
Oh, you got him again. You got him again. You didn't kept them to nil. It just gets better and better.
And you know what's interesting? Like, in 2021, we won 3 games. Now, 3 games. We've already won 5 games. right, in the first 5 weeks, and we're on 12 points because we got the bye. So when you look at the amount the team is the amount of growth the team has seen over the the 18 months, I don't want to say miracles or whatever because obviously it's been the hard work of Cameron Ciraldo, Jason Taylor. I think Jason Taylor deserves to have his his chocolates as well, because I think he's been a big part of it. But it's the coaching staff and the back end team. We're growing, commercially. We're growing on the football field. Our juniors are coming through. Like against the Knights, you saw, you saw Jack Todd score his first try in his second NRL game.
Oh, how good!
And similarly, you saw, Kurt Mann score his 49th try in his 200th game. And so you've got like juniors coming through. You've got the experience there, and the team is gelling. Like if you look at the way Preston was so happy for Jack Todd after he scored his try, like that passion in Preston's face, it was just insane. And it sort of shows just how great or how much connection there is between the team. But I do want to talk about that Knights game and the Knights win. But I want to start by prefacing it with this. Just to give a bit of context about why I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I think that the Knights, had they versed any other team on Sunday, they probably would have won or come close to winning that game. We're just on fire. But the Knights defended better, I think, than almost any other team this year, with the very limited time that they had, with the limited ball that they had. Like, don't forget, at the end, we had something like 59% possession. We had a whole heap of yardage more than them. And so I think that it was a very brave performance by the Newcastle Knights. They lost Saifidi on the run out, which I think, why wouldn't you allow someone, why wouldn't you activate at the 18th man when the bloke, gets injured before the kickoff? I think, the Knights should feel a little bit dudded there. That 18th man should have been activated. And then in the first minute, Schiller, who I think has been great for them, sustains a HIA and fails. And so they're down to 15. And then later in the game, Jack Hetherington also succumbs to a shoulder injury.
Game was gone.
Look, I'm with you, but they only allowed 20 points in. For a team who this year has been very average and has let in some points, to hold us to 20, I think was very admirable by the Knights, because the Bulldogs were on fire. Like, even in attack, the whole team was on fire. And I do this research before I get onto the podcast, and I want to figure out what are other social media pundits saying about who they thought their team of the week was from the whole round. And the problem is, there's no one Bulldogs player that stands out, because we're performing as a team. And to be performing as a team, no one player is going to stand out. And I feel like that's the type of footy that we played against the Knights. There was no expecting one superstar to make a play and to get us over the line, like the Knights were expecting, for example, from Kalen Ponga. It was get through the set, play, kick long, kick high, target Greg Marju, and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And that's what they did. They broke the Knights down. They dismantled them. And then, we won in the second half. And I think, that's why, I'm very confident that this year we'll make at least a prelim final, if not a grand final. I don't know how we're going to go, come 10, 15 rounds in, because I do think that we don't have enough cover in certain positions that could leave us vulnerable. But I do think overall we're in such a great position because not only do we now sort of have the depth and we have some selection headaches for Cameron Ciraldo, but I think, being able to perform without Burton, Kickow, Sam Hughes, and Kiraz for the first 4 or 5 weeks has shown that we've got the tenacity as a top 30 as opposed to a top 17.
What happens now? Well, what happens after the bye? Burton's back after the bye, isn't he?
Burton's back, Kickout's back. I think that
Out.
Sam Hughes
Out.
doesn't come back until round 9.
He's going to have to start off in reserves the way things are going.
Oh yeah, Sam Hughes will have to fight his way back into the team. I just want to point out just quickly for those listening on Spotify, we do have some comments coming through on YouTube, and X Defiant Updates is questioning my comment about us being on fire in attack. He's saying our attack was so bad we had 2 points in the first half with 57% possession.
All right.
I want to say that. Okay, maybe on fire is a bit of an exaggeration, but our attack wasn't bad in any way. I think our attack was decent, and they defended very, very well. Again, not going to say we were on fire, but we were rolling through our sets and we were hitting our targets. So throughout the whole first half, the target was Greg Marju, and I felt like Toby Sexton landed the ball on a 5% piece every single time he aimed at Greg Marju. And so I wouldn't say our attack was bad. I wouldn't say our attack was subpar. I would just say that their defense was was better than our attack in the first half. And look, in the second half, whether they had their full complement of players or not, I think that we will bust down the front door as well. I think that we tried to go around them too often in the first half instead of breaking through the middle. So I think, I think the Bulldogs are, outperformed. Honestly, that they did so well.
They look. Newcastle did defend bravely in that first half. Like, give them credit. Canterbury did have a lot of the ball, but they also had a lot of the territory, and they went close quite often. It was some great defense, like last-ditch defense from Newcastle that denied Canterbury a few tries in that first half. I mean, it was only 2-0, but obviously, the narrative, or if everyone's of the opinion that it's only 2-0, like they're lucky not to be down 14-0, like it deserved to be more. These things happen week in, week out, but they maintained the rage in the second half, and obviously 100%. He yielded points, could have yielded more. 20-0, that's one-sided, mate. Like,
and I think the problem is that we underestimate, how patient the team needs to be to get there in the second half. Like they could have easily lost their shit, tried to throw Hail Mary passes and stupid kicks and things like that, but. Credit to Bailey Haywood and Toby Sexton. I thought they controlled the tempo even when we couldn't score. We're still trying to get the ball back. We're getting repeat sets. We were making the right kicks. We were still targeting Greg Marju. We didn't divert from the game plan. And I think that's so much to do with the growth of Toby Sexton as a 7. I can see my host giggling.
We're just having a good chat, but look who's hopped on. Guys, that Melbourne fan has come on and said,
very, very interested to see how the Dogs do against Melbourne. I think
when are they playing? I'm going to check now. This is going to be good.
Yeah, it'll be great.
We should invite this mysterious person and have a sit along. Let's see, Canterbury versus Melbourne. If somebody can tell me. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, look, I think overall as well, like the Knights tried a lot. I thought they tried to throw a lot at us, but.
Look,
when you can keep
even the Greats. August 22nd.
It's a while away.
Gee whiz, that's a long time away. Forget it. The season's that's pretty much the last round, I think. Yeah, it is. It's like round 25, I think.
Round 25,
yeah. Joke. How are we going to get a? Oh, that's ridiculous. Both teams.
All right, by then we'll be in the studio. We can have a watch along. We can bring people.
That would be good.
Along together. But again, just want to go back quickly to the Knights game. The Bulldogs are showing, literally this team. If any team that's struggling needs an example of you build a champion team as opposed to a team of champions, the Bulldogs is it. To the Eels, to the Dolphins, to even the Roosters. Like if you want to come back, there are so many different little bits and pieces of the building blocks of the success of the Bulldogs that we're having this year. And look, I am getting way ahead of myself, and that's just because I'm happy. But you can't sort of take away or detract from how well the Bulldogs have done. Like if you told me any team, like you look at the Storm, they lost, They lost, Jerome Hughes, and they lost against the Dragons. We could have easily sort of put the queue in the rack and sort of dropped a couple of games without Burden and Kickout. But, the players wanted to prove themselves without Burden and Kickout. And look at us, we're 5-0, and we're coming up against a fairly busted Rabbitohs team. In the next couple of weeks, in front of 60, 70,000 strong Dogs fans. Like, you can't help but be impressed by the Bulldogs, to be honest.
80,000. Let's get 80,000. 80,000, and then they can take Bankwest Stadium off Parramatta and give it to Canterbury instead. Permanently.
It's a great stadium.
Honestly, they don't deserve another stadium for 100 years. They've had 2 brand new ones in 40 years. That's enough.
With 0 premierships to show for it.
Thank you. Oh, one. 86th year they gave them the first new one. But no more for them. They get everything. They get new stadiums. They get the refs calls. They get the darlings of the media. That's enough for them for 100 years.
Yeah, and
the Roosters.
I do feel sorry for Jason Ross. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the Wooden Spooners. We're here to talk about the premiers who are going to be the Bulldogs. Now, just before we go on, we've got 33 people.
Yep, yeah, finish. I was about to say.
There's 33 people here. What I would love for all of you to do, all 33 of you, just very, very quickly, just give me a thumbs up on this video on YouTube. Share, leave a comment. Tell people about the podcast, but at least give us a thumbs up. The more thumbs up you give us, the more you get to boost in the algorithm, the more people see our content, the bigger we grow. We do have subscriptions as well on the channel. So if it is something that, if you do enjoy our content, if you do enjoy what we do here at the Kennel Podcast, and you are looking forward to some of the content we've got coming up, you can become a subscriber on YouTube to our channel. It's like $6 a month, which is sort of the cost of a coffee. It helps us, pay for the studio that we're going to be using from next week. It helps us fund a lot of the content that we put out and fund our time as well. So if you did want to become a subscriber, feel free to do that. But if not, please at least just give us a thumbs up. It really helps us in the algorithm. Now, want to continue sort of now going over just some of the statistics from that game. I think, based on some of the performances, so I have to start with the one. So what we're going to talk about now are individual performances from the night's game. The one that I want to speak out about and be very, very clear about, and I think he needs to start getting the accolades, is Toby Sexton. Now, it's easy to say, the whole team's doing well, he's just doing his job, so on and so forth. I have to say he has been excellent. Not good, excellent. He has been fantastic in the absence of Burden. And in fact, I think Burden being out, excuse me, Burden being out has actually helped Sexton unlock his running game, right? It has helped Sexton become his own player and control the running, control the game, be the dominant half. And I hope that he can carry this on when Burden comes back against the Rabbitohs. He is, over the last 2 to 3 games, probably been one of the halves of the competition, and I do not say that lightly. He has been excellent. It's just, if you look at his kicking game has been fantastic, both long and short kicking game. He has gotten, in the last 2 games, I think it's 7 repeat sets, 7 short, short kicks to get us dropouts. 7. His long kicking game, he's kicked for over 1,000 meters over the last 2 games. Not to forget that against the Eels, he kicked a record 1,000+ meters. His passing and running game. So against the Knights, Toby Sexton ran, I think it was for about 130 meters. He ran, I'll give you very quickly, he ran 19 times for 125 meters. The Knights didn't know what was coming next. Now, this is a halfback, a 7, who was making so many runs, had, a lot of post-contact meters. And then if you look at the amount of tackles that he made as well, right? He made 24 tackles, took 19 runs, made 125 meters. His kicking game was superb. And you can tell, like, throughout the whole game, he is communicating. He's barking orders at his team. And, you know, people say, oh, you know, do we need a DCE? Oh, you know, we're going to wait for Mitchell Woods, you know, this and that. I think Toby Sexton is staking his claim. And do I believe that we can win a premiership with him at half? Look, right now, I'm still very 50-50, but you know, he's proving himself to be remarkable, and I'm almost at the point to say where if we are premiership contenders, Toby Sexton's the one that's going to get us over the line. Very quickly, I want to give a massive shout out to Brad Cambridge. He just became a member on the kennel. Thank you so much, Brad. We really, really appreciate your support. Absolute legend. Everyone else who's liked and who's become a member, thank you so much, guys. You guys are, you know, fantastic. We love the chats. We love the support. And we look forward to sort of growing together. I want to know, I'm going to put up a poll just quickly. I want to know, do you guys think we can win a grand final with Toby Sexton at halfback?
Yeah, everyone vote. Does everyone want to know my vote?
Let me just put a poll.
You know what? Every time I think he can't win one with him, then I remember that Cronulla Sharks had Chad Townsend. That's probably the worst halfback I've ever seen win a grand final. That honestly set him up for the rest of his career. I'll just sit there and shake my head.
But didn't they have James Maloney?
Yeah, all right. That's all right. Yeah, okay. Then again, hang on a sec. Andrew Johns was the half. Yeah, but that was Maloney was the 6. I'm talking about the 7.
Yeah, yeah, true. But I mean, he had a great 6.
Hang on a sec. Who was the halfback for Broncos when they won that grand final? Shane Perry, I think it was.
Yeah, it was Shane Perry. Yeah,
he wasn't too bad either. But he was
rubbish. He was rubbish.
Yeah, but it's either.
In my opinion.
But yeah. Look, you know what? It just proves the point. The rest of the team can be spectacular, and the halfback just does the bare minimum.
Yeah, but Sexton isn't doing the bare minimum. I think
no,
that's what I'm trying to say.
No,
like,
I'm not. I'm just pointing.
I know, but I'm saying
and he's better than them. He's better. I'm just justifying. I know I'm trying to say I don't think they can win, but then, you know, then there's been halfbacks half his ability, like Chad Townsend. Really, I still shake my head about how this guy's won a grand final. Then again, it was that Rick Cronulla side anyway. So
yeah, but I mean, regardless, like I think that Toby Sexton, you know, his ceiling is much higher than the Chads, and I think that you know, if he continues to have the faith be put in him by the team, I genuinely feel like this guy's going to become you know, a premiership winning half. That's really, really what I genuinely believe. And you know, again, I don't think it's I don't know why he's sort of gone on the radar. Maybe because he's performing that well that it's sort of now just expected of him. But you know, Haywood sort of has come in and sort of slots in where he feels comfortable, but Sexton's the one that's directing all the traffic. Sexton's the one that is controlling all the attack.
Not necessarily, but because you got Berto, a lot of stuff runs through Berto. I just want to quickly answer some few quick things on the chat. Define updates, not always the case. The last 3 have made the grand final, winning their first 5, which is a good.
Can you read out the comment, DIBBO, just when you're responding to it? Just
so we touched on this at the start. I think define updates wasn't in at that stage, but just a quick stat on any. So he's written just a quick stat. Any team that has won the first 5 games of the season has made the grand final. That is the case for the last 3 sides that did go 5-0 at the start of the season, but it hasn't always been the case. Matter of fact, the last time Canterbury did that, which was in '93, they didn't make the grand final that year. They actually got the minor premiership, but went out in straight sets. Skinny Zeb, the Melbourne fan, he's saying Dogs can't win a comp. They don't have a spine. Ridiculously, he's saying Dogs have a New South Wales Cup spine, so that's a bit harsh. I'm dismissing the second half of his comment. The first half, man, if they do win, they put egg on my face. I'm saying they can at least make the prelim this year. I'm not saying they can't make the grand final. The next comment is Channel E put, hey, gents, with the young potential of props coming through, I'll probably let Red answer this. Todd Hughes, Hayes, did we overpay on Thompson $850K for next year? We need to factor salary upgrades for our talent in the future. I don't think he's on 650, but Red, that's your cue. Elmo, go ahead.
Okay, so
Brad Cambridge, what a legend.
Firstly, what I want to say is I want all the haters to continue hating. I want the haters to continue
Is he on 850?
doubting us.
He's
Second
not on 850. That's an overstatement. Surely they got it wrong. I think he's on about 550, 500.
I think it. Look,
I reckon half a million.
He'll be on 650
half a million, man. Why does
look,
everyone think?
He wouldn't have left the Knights for a downgrade. So he'll be on 650.
Well, hang on a sec. How much would he have been at the Knights? 300?
400.
It's overstated. No, don't be silly.
Yeah. Honestly,
I reckon in the final year of his contract, whereas this one is guaranteed from bang 500, maybe next year.
I reckon I think someone like him, a forward like him, is worth 650 to 700.
Hang on a sec. How much is the salary cap?
But here's where I think it's important that we point out why we went after someone like Thompson. At the time when we went after Thompson, we had missed out on Terrell May. We had missed out on, I think it was Regan Campbell-Gillard and a couple other forwards that we hadn't gone for. And we needed an experienced experienced prop to bring into the team to finish, to round off our team. And we still got money in the cap. So, do I think that we're overpaying Thompson, even if it is at 850? I don't think he's getting paid that much, but even if he is, I don't think we're overpaying. I think that under the tutelage of Cameron Ciraldo, Jason Taylor, and the rest of the team, and having Gus there, what I think will happen is he will come in and not only become a harder worker where his numbers are much higher, but you will see him go into his Payne Haas era because his ceiling is that high. He reminds me so much of Fisher Harris, where he will play two explosive 25-minute stints where he would come in and destroy anyone in front of him for the first 20 to 25 minutes, right? And leave the rest to the rest of the team. Now, you have to remember, having such a barnstorming forward alongside the hard-working forward, right? Alongside some really, really insane second rowers that can just play 80 minutes and make 100 tackles, gives us such a well-rounded forward pack. Because if you have a Tupanua coming off the bench, you've got a Jacob Preston kick out, and then maybe like a man or a salmon at lock. What that means is that not only do we have the explosive forward pack, but we have a long-lasting forward pack where Thompson can come in and cause the havoc in the first 20 to 25 minutes and then take a breather and come back when it's required. Like, a lot of people underestimate, number one, his experience, but also his size. If you look at Max King, only this year have we seen Max King go to this next level where we're actually seeing him bending the line, getting over the advantage, poking his nose through, landing on his front, playing the ball quickly. Last year, we weren't really seeing that. We were seeing the numbers from Max King, but we weren't seeing the impact. Whereas this year, we are seeing the impact from Max King. I think the other thing that you need to remember is that Sam Hughes is only 22, 23 years old. Daniel Saluka Fafita is also very, very young and can't play long minutes. So having a well-rounded top 30 where we can develop a team that has insane depth to go on a successful run is much better and much more preferred to, say, a team that is a good top 17, but the minute we get an injury, we buckle. And so I'm such a big fan of the Thompson signing because I just feel like he's going to come into this team and he's going to be like, I'm ready to win a premiership now. I've done my my apprenticeship at the Knights or whatever. Now I'm ready to play with the big league. Now I'm ready to play with the big boys. I'm sick of finishing, lucky 8th, and so on and so forth. And he's in, and that's why I think when he comes, he's going to go to another level. So I'm a big fan of the Thompson signing. I don't think we need any more forwards, to be honest. But that's where my thinking is at around that signing. But look, similarly, if you got to look at if Todd continues on, right? If he's going to be that good, if he continues to grow, that's incredible. It's just better for us. And what that means is that we are going to start having to lose players to other teams that need players. But that's the price of success, sort of in my honest opinion.
today, I think Canterbury, they announced they've extended Salmon for another 2 years to the end of 2027. I'm thinking he doesn't cost us a lot of money. There's no way it'll cost us more than 300 because he's not an out-and-out starter. I was thinking at one stage, like, why would you retain him? There's boys there that you don't want to lose. You want to upgrade them, but I'm thinking he's not on a lot of money. Obviously, he keeps a good top 25, as you were touching on earlier. But the only thing is, I think he's probably not on big bucks. That's probably why you guys have retained him. Look, the salary cap will start taking effect when, obviously with his team's stocks rising. I guarantee there's going to be clubs trying to poach your players. You just won't be immune, from losing players. Someone is going to eventually offer a guy that you guys probably see 350. They'll probably give him $500,000 with a term to with a view to a long-term future at the other club. Like they'll probably try to blow his out of the water by giving him overs, knowing that he's going to be a gun. It will take a squeeze, but he's doing well.
I reckon someone like Hayes.
I
can see in Eels.
I'm thinking. I remember when you guys had what's the guy that he's lost to Melbourne and he played Origin? He went to Bass Hill High or something.
Who?
And he ended up captaining Cronulla later. He just retired last year or the year before. Does it? I forgot his name. Somebody, come on. He ended up winning a premier. He played for you guys in the grand finals, and then he went to Melbourne, won a few premierships there, and then he ended up captaining.
Dale Finucane.
This guy reminds me of Dale Finucane.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that's a very good.
And I think I wouldn't be surprised if this guy ends up at Melbourne. He's looking good like Harry Hayes.
But if I were the Eels, honestly, I would
No, please. Honestly, I'm over that club.
No, not just the Eels.
If they're not having the golden run with recruiting players, they're getting the golden run with the refs. And if they're not getting golden runs with the refs, they're getting golden runs with the media. If they're not getting golden runs with the media, they're getting gifted brand new stadiums every couple of decades.
No, I'm with you.
I hope they rot and end up with another 6 wooden spoons in a row.
But even the Dragons, I think if you want to sort of get success, I think for the Eels, for the
Dragons, don't worry about the Dragons. They can stay in the mud.
For the Dolphins, some of those sort of teams that are language down the bottom. If you look at someone like a Jake Turpin, or even a Harry Hayes and things like that, they'll be fantastic. Can you imagine? You throw the energy.
I can take Jake Turpin, take him, keep him, extend him.
Bro, I actually think he'll be so fantastic for them.
He's a move beyond him now. I don't think he's already on him, to be honest.
Just helping, guide Riley Smith, who I think is Reed Marnie 2.0.
Honest Smith was pretty good on the weekend.
It was fantastic. I think he put pressure on your 7 there.
He did better than our 7.
Elias.
He did better than our 7.
Yeah, look,
and our 6 combined.
Oh, your six was non-existent.
I said until as such he benches his son or puts him in reserve grade, he's going to lose his job on the back of his son.
I agree. Now, the other person I want to call out for the for the Knights game was Kiraz. So Kiraz ran 17 times for 178 meters.
Already.
The bloke has played one game this year, come back from hip injury, back problems, but the bloke ran. Honestly, you could tell he missed footy. You can tell he missed playing. You can tell he missed, being out there, with the boys. And for me, it was just it's just incredible, just how well he came back. And it's just so exciting to have him back. Don't get me wrong, I miss Wilson. I think Wilson is a great winger, and it's sort of sad that we can't have everybody in the team. But, how do you leave someone like Kiraz out of the team? You sort of just don't. And it is, it is what it is. Again, it shows that we've got great depth. Another one I want to call out is Blake Taff. Played for a total of, I think it was 3 minutes. 180.
He got on the field. He got on the field.
It's more than I'll ever do. He
got on the field. That's good to see.
Yeah, he did. He got on the field and
nice start.
Good start. I thought, Daniel Saluka-Fafita played 35 minutes, did have one mistake, but, played a lot longer than he usually has been. He's usually been playing around 18 minutes. Overall, it's just the whole team really needs to be applauded for the way they're performing.
Look, yeah, exactly. I don't think they even got out fourth gear, to be honest. Like, let's just say there's 6 gears. I don't think they got out fourth gear. Um, Look, there's something very smart the NRL is doing, which I was reading today. So, and Elmo's still obviously having a whinge about his lighting.
Yeah, I am. I'm so spewing. I can't wait till we get back to this studio, bro. I hate this lighting situation in my room.
Whilst that, anyway, so the AFL's got its gather round, and the NRL under Vlandis is doing a sneaky. So they thought, seeing there's no AFL in town, we're going to take over the MCG. I wonder if that's happening this year. Because that would be nice. Melbourne has a game at the MCG and they'll get at least 40, 50,000 there easy. Like the Melbourne fans are sports mad fans in Australia. They're going to want some sports. So there's nothing happening. I'm sure they're going to go watch Melbourne Storm at the MCG. Hopefully pack it out for 80,000. But I think maybe 40,000 is more realistic in that sense.
I mean, it depends. If they market it well enough, I do think that, the Storm could get more than...
They'll get 40, 50. They'll get 40, 50. Look, if they'll get 40, 50,000 easy, if they obviously promote it good, they're going to look at 8. I reckon they'll get 80,000. Like, there's nothing happening in Melbourne that weekend when the gather-round happens. I reckon the AFL is regretting it now. But
yeah, 100%.
They're going to lock it in and just do it every time. What a way to do it, eh?
Yeah.
Now, what a way to steal their thunder. Anyways, that's good.
Look, I think Peter V'landys is smart business. Sorry, guys. I promise you, next week I'll fix the lighting. I'm very pedantic and I'm worried because last week the lighting looked pretty bad.
I think, aren't we in the studio next week? Now he's going to tell me I'll stop revealing secrets. Anyway.
No, we were supposed to be in the studio this week, but we just had some final technical delays. So, hopefully, inshallah, he's making dua. We'll be in the studio next week, and I won't have to worry about the lighting problem. Any final thoughts?
Look at, do us a favour and turn off the lights, Red. That Melbourne fan, he's really had enough of you.
Any final thoughts on the Knights Bulldogs game before we move on?
I like he's really kept just the defence. He's really kept them quiet. I know he's kept them to 0 regardless. I don't care if they had 1 or 2 players missing off the bench. That's just impressive. Regardless, that's what you want to do.
No, I agree 100%, and that's probably the most pleasing aspect. Honestly, throughout the whole game, right at the end, I was like, please, I don't care if you don't score anymore, but please do not let any tries in. I was like, just defend, and then, towards the end, I was like, yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to score.
Yeah, and there's a good shout out there from Channel E. You will actually love it. I'll let you take that away. It's actually a really good shout out if you're reading his comment.
With regards to Sexton, chat, I think he's heading down the Brent Sherwin path. Not a flashy player or high profile, but he was highly valued as a big part of the 2004 win. You know what's interesting about that is when you think about the 2004 grand final, you think, Willie Mason, Marco Mealy, you think about maybe like Hassan because it was a big name, but really when you look, Sonny Bill Williams, obviously back then, Thurston was playing off the bench. But when you look at it, Sherwin was the mastermind, and he was considered, Sherwin was considered probably the next best half after Andrew Johns at that time. Some of the wizardry with the ball both in hand and with foot was just remarkable. And look, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you that he is becoming the Brent Sherwin of the team. He does what is needed, and he leaves the superstar plays to the superstars. But I think that if he continues on this trajectory and he continues to build his attacking mastery alongside Jason Taylor, I'm of the opinion that he will start to become a superstar himself. Love it or hate it, I am on the Sexton bandwagon. I'm on the Sexton boat. I'm on that sexy yacht. That's what I'm on. I'm on that sexy yacht. Zatar's got the right idea. For those listening on the podcast, Zatar is saying that Sexton is the GOAT and better than Andrew Johns. He's well on the way to being better than Andrew Johns. Nathan Cleary better watch out. And you know what? He's going to be replacing DCE as the Queensland 7 once DCE retires. That's it. I'm putting a stick in the ground. That's what hill I'm going to die.
I just want to give a shout out to, we got a follower on Twitter by the name of Anastas. So he operates some heavy machinery. He likes tuning in to our podcast on Spotify. So I just want to give him a shout out. And Elmo, this is to you. Please upload those podcasts on Spotify because Anastas has just messaged me again. You know,
can you
through
message
his day.
I promise it will be to everyone. If you guys want to listen to this on podcast on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, it'll be up tomorrow morning. I promise it'll be up tomorrow morning. I'm sorry that I've dropped the ball on it, to be honest. Spotify is really important to us, but we've unfortunately dropped the ball. So I apologize. Now, some of the people are questioning why we're comparing Sexton to Andrew Johns in the comments. Look, we're having a bit of a laugh, right?
Yeah.
But he is becoming great. He's doing some good work, and I just want to see him continue that. You know, I'll tell you what though. Something about Sexton as well is that he's
I think I compared him to Noel Goldthorpe last week. That was probably a good shout by my end. I mean, obviously he's still got to make 3 grand finals, but he's part of the Cox. He's part of the machinery. He's doing his role. He's doing it effectively. You know, he's complimenting everyone.
Look, 100%. And he's providing the ball that Hayward needs. Like if you look at the ball
James
that
Hardy. James Hardy. They're sponsoring Para, so that's good news for us.
One other thing I do want to point out is Miney's copped a lot of shit for being a tough-ass, strong number 9. But I thought against the Knights, he had a very good game. His passing out of a dummy half has been crisp. And that little crab walk that he does before he throws the pass that he was getting caught out on in the first couple of weeks, no more. He's getting 10, 20-meter passes both left and right. And I think that's really giving Sexton a lot of time to choose and pick his moments. And for me, that's so exciting. I love it.
I just want to point something. Look, there was. Look, you're right. He's not doing that stupid play. It's still average. I just want to point out something funny that Andrew Johns said post game, and it made me laugh because he was saying how immense red money was for the Dogs, but then it reminded me of when he said the Warriors got the wood on Melbourne. You know, playing them, and I'm sitting there thinking, when was the last time? I'm pretty sure Warriors probably haven't beaten Melbourne in at least 10 years or so. Then I checked, and then somebody actually put it up. I haven't beaten them in about 20 outings, if not more. So, yeah. Anyways, it was an improvement, but anyways, I mean, if they keep winning, I guess you can't.
Look,
he gets away with it. Tim Gray. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
I want to just continue. There's still some more chat around Toby Sexton, and I actually wanted to point something out. David A.
Far out, 16 out of 20. Wow.
Has pointed out we've won 16 of the last 20 games Toby Sexton has played. And if you guys remember, and we did point this out last week.
Isn't that the career wins that Kyle Flanagan has? 16 wins. This guy's done it in one season. That guy's career wins is about 16. I'm sure of it.
If you look at last year, we started with Drew Hutchison. And look, this is not an attack on Drew Hutchison. This is just me pointing out facts, right? We started first half of the season fairly well, but we didn't win as many games as we thought we should have won. There were some games there where we felt like we just couldn't execute on the attack. This year we start with Sexton at 7. Lo and behold, we're killing it. Right? We're killing it. We're winning the games that we're supposed to win, and we're winning them comfortably. We're defending the way we're supposed to defend, and we've got a true number 7 leading the team around. I don't think it's a coincidence that we're 5 from 5 to start 2025 with Sexton at 7, even without Burton. Like, if you think about last year, if we started last year without Burton and with Drew Hutchison and maybe another person there at 6, right? How many games do we win? How many games do we win?
Yeah, it was a matter of who's going to partner Burton, but they got it right in the end.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think credit needs to be given for Ciro and Taylor taking their time to bring him in, but also the fans were right, brother. We knew Sexton was the solution. Sexton should have been in there from round 1 last year. We would have been in the top 4. That's my opinion.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were on the Hutchison bandwagon. Do you remember that? And I was trying to make a case for Sexton.
Never
And I
on
had
the
the support
Hutchison
of Brian,
bandwagon.
and you were attacking me. I'm not even
Nah,
a
Brian
Canterbury
is a
fan.
hater. I was never.
I'm
on
not
the
even a
Sexton
Canterbury fan.
bandwagon.
I was telling you, give Sexton a run. What's going to hurt there?
You know, so it's great to see him doing that. Now,
Some of
yeah,
us
the
got good
Bowie
memories,
Elms.
mate. Some of us got good memories.
We've got
Memories.
44 people here today. It's so
Memories.
exciting. So happy to have everybody here. Please, if you haven't subscribed or if you're just watching and you haven't left a comment, please be sure to click the subscribe button. And if you haven't done so yet, just give us the thumbs up on the video. Please be sure to do that, just so that we can make sure that our video gets into the algorithm. The more people that give us a thumbs up, the more we get into the algorithm, and the more our stuff gets recommended. We love you guys. We've got some big things happening. Now, I'm getting a lot of hate for me loving Sexton and his performance.
Oh, that's good. You're on the bandwagon now. That's good. You shouldn't be getting hate.
I don't think so. I think that
I just want to. It's maybe early for me to mention this, but does Serraldo stick with what's working for him, or does he know towards the finals he might have to play the power play and put some firepower on the bench? Does he change it up? Because remember last year, towards the back end of the season and then the finals, I think he just probably lacked that extra firepower coming off the bench and rattling the opposition's defensive line. Maybe does he resort to that this year? Is it too early to discuss this?
Yeah, look, I've been thinking about that, to be honest, and I think like,
does he just tweak it? Like that's the formula he tweaks. The rest stays the same. He looks for the extra firepower, and he's do have it.
So
you do have it.
Okay, let's talk about. Let's do this, right? So what we've done is we've done with the Knights talk, right? The Knights, I think it's fair to say we've well and truly gotten revenge for the 66-0. And Jamie Teasdale, as always, absolute legend. $2 super chat. Jamie, honestly, you're an absolute legend, bro. I think he's our biggest fan.
Is Jamie Jamie's in Queensland, isn't he?
I think he's in. Jamie, whereabouts are you located, brother? Because you're like so. You know, the support from Jamie is always fantastic. And look, if you do like the content, you can always give us a super chat, just like Jamie. All the amount helps, but you know, again, just give us a thumbs up. That's good enough. You're an absolute legend, Jamie.
Are we getting Jamie on for the first live watch along?
I think Jamie has to be. I think our members, right? We've got a few members. I think Jamie and the rest of the members.
We get some on every week.
That come on, yeah, 100%. Something like just about the comment about does he add more firepower? I think the great thing about
you need to yep, and then you need to answer the Penrith comment.
Which is
he copying and pasting Penrith? That's
right.
From your mate Oregano.
Right. So, firstly, in terms of how Serraldo's played it, and we've mentioned this last week, I don't think he's going to be giving a one and done plan for every single team. It's clear that he takes he takes weather into account. He takes the team into account. He takes the conditions in terms of the players who are fit and ready into account. Everyone, everything is taken into account. And I think like as he sees us struggling against teams, he'll make the changes. So if he sees that we do need a bigger team, like against the Broncos, if we do struggle when we face them, I think when we do face them a second time, he will make the changes. You know, depending on how are we traveling, who travels better than who. And that's the great thing about having like a top 30 that you can pick and choose from, right? Is that the game plan can change. And I think, again, I have to call out Jason Taylor has been really, really good in building those attacking plans with Sexton, and Sexton's been fantastic in implementing those attacking plans. Are we copying Penrith? Yes, and so what? I mean, you know, they won 4 in a row. If you're not copying Penrith, I think there's something wrong with you. You know, you need to be copying the team that's, you know, won 4 in a row and you know, is one of the best teams in the competition. I don't understand, you know, this problem with, you know, copying Penrith. Why wouldn't you copy Penrith? Why wouldn't you be absolutely on that bandwagon? It doesn't make any sense to me why anyone would question it. You know what? I'm putting it. Yes, we are copying Penrith. Gladly. What an honor as a football team to be copying one of the best teams we've ever seen. You know, if your team isn't trying to copy Penrith, maybe you should say, why aren't they? Why aren't they copying Penrith? Why can't they defend why can't they defend their line? Why can't they? Anyway, look,
should
obviously,
Yeah, all right. So are we going to rename you guys the Canterbury Panthers or something?
mate, rename us whatever you want. Just let us win the premiership, so you can call us the Grasshopper. Honestly, I couldn't care less.
The Canterbury Grasshoppers.
Yeah.
Was that a
very
real
quickly,
thing? Greenacre. Everyone mentioned to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Everyone mentioned to me
Zatar,
Greenacre
sorry,
Grasshoppers.
Jamie's confirmed. Yes, I'm in Ipswich in Queensland.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's great.
South Filanga territory.
Yeah, that's right. And then Zatar is sort of trying to compete with Jamie. He's given a $3 $2.99 AED super chat. You know, love you, Zatar. Thank you so much for all your support. You've been here since day one, pretty much. No hate, just competition. And then Jamie, not to be outdone, has given us $5 in a super chat. Honestly, like you guys, the support that you give us is very humbling, and we love you guys so much. You know, this chat and Morris, Morris has said, sorry, very quickly, it is very, very he said, if the members are going to be on the podcast, we need some notice. I live interstate. Morris, I guarantee you, like, we'll try and give you a month notice if we're going to have a live watch in. I guarantee you that we will
or reach out to us.
You...
reach out to us if you're in it. If you're coming to Sydney that week or day, give us good notice.
Yeah, if you are Sydney, let us know as well. We'll organize something together as well. We'll give you as much notice as possible. But we are excited to meet everybody. The support, the amount of fun that we have every single time we're here, it's just it's incomparable, and we love it all. And just quickly, Tarek asking about the Greenacre Grasshoppers. Yes, it was a real team. They are now the Greenacre Tigers. Tariq Ahmed played for them in the under-9s. I played for them in the under-10s.
Revert back to the old name. That sounds better than Greenacre Tigers.
Yeah, they were the Greenacre Grasshoppers.
Sounds like West Tigers.
Now, look, they initially when they were the Greenacre Grasshoppers, there was a lot of mismanagement there.
What color? Yeah. What color was the uniform? What color was the uniform? It's something green and blue.
I don't actually remember. It was
somebody
a long time ago. Yeah, I don't even remember what happened yesterday, so I'm not going to remember what happened 25 years ago. But
you're gonna have to give Morris our email.
Yeah, so they had some issues with management and things like that, and then Killer came in 8-9 years ago. They rebranded to the Greenacre Tigers, and now one of the fastest growing Canterbury Bankstown junior clubs, and actually any junior club in the NRL. We actually did a great video on their gala day. It's on our channel. If you guys want to have a look, I can share the link in the description below. And it was great to get out there, but they were the Grasshoppers. They were the Grasshoppers. So, but yeah, look, again, call me whatever you want. As Tariq Ahmed just said, call me. What did he say here? He said, call me Susan if you want. If we win the NRL, honestly, call me whatever you want. As Timothy Gray said, go the Canterbury Bankstown Panthers, because really, at the end of the day, if a team does something well and you're not emulating it, that's your problem. I think that there's a blueprint there. And look, ultimately, you can say we're copying and things this and we're copying that, but the truth is that Cameron Serrata was a big part of this success at the Panthers, including the defensive structure that the Bulldogs are using at the moment. And I think, he's going to revert to what he knows best. So, it is what it is. Haters die in your rage. Norm Ida has said, look, call me Jahash, just give me a title. Like, oh Allah, I'm completely in agreement with that. Call me whatever you want. Just give me a title. Just give me the title. Let us win 4 in a row. Now, I think with that, there's been a bit of news that's come out around the Bulldogs recently, and I want to sort of just start covering them and getting your thoughts. The first thing that I find so unbelievable is that Braden Williami has been named the NLW head coach. Now, if you guys weren't aware, the inaugural NRLW head coach was sacked by the Bulldogs for an inappropriate relationship with one of the staff, and so recently the Bulldogs had been
I wonder who that was.
Look, I'm not going to get into the.
Oh no! Come on, we got an audience here. Come on, man. What are you, the diplomat for the Canterbury Bulldogs, the ambassador? Oh, come on, get into it. Got a 50
I don't know.
You got 50 people watching live. Get stuck into it. Come on, son.
Look, the coach Blake Cavallaro apparently had an inappropriate relationship with one of the girls.
Players.
Yeah, one of the players. I don't know if it was a player or just the staff.
There you go, sorted, done. All right, there you go. If that's true, then yeah, okay. If not,
right,
then,
I don't know who it was, but then they've signed Braden Williami, who did play for your St. George Dragons.
I liked him, even though he was only there for about a dozen games, and he went back to Catalans. I thought he was He was very powerful. He could shrug off tackles. Yeah, I think he's got his. Yeah, that's good, man. Good little sign up, mate. You know, gets kickstarts his coaching career. Good initiative by Canterbury. Clearly, they see something in him. Yeah, it's not they're just going to throw anyone in there.
Yeah, Jamie Feeney, who's been coaching rugby league for a while as well, apparently applied, but they settled on Braden Williami, and I wish him all the best. I can't wait for the NRLW team to play its first game, and we can sort of have two teams to cheer on. So look, best of luck to Braden Williami. Next, very quickly, so the Dogs have re-signed Jamin Salmon until 2027. I don't really know how to feel about this one. Clearly the coach values him, and clearly he adds a lot to the team in terms of defense. I didn't think he would get re-signed. I think even as late as last week, I was saying that I think that he'd be one of the ones that we let go alongside Hutchison and Turpin and stuff, but he was re-signed.
Must have been on a lot of money. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, look, I don't think he's on a lot of money, but seeing how much favor the coach bestows upon him, great. I want to say, I want to say, we could have used that money elsewhere, but Cameron Ciraldo and Gus Gould have been pretty spot on with all their decisions. Really not in a position to start doubting them. So, he does, as Hassan Zatar is saying, is that he does all the shit work really well. He does all of the dirty work.
He's the janitor, in other words. You need a janitor.
Yeah, he does the cleanup work. So
nice.
You need one of them. I remember, every successful sort of Bulldogs team has had one. If you remember, we had.
Yeah, you know what, Brad? It must have been the fact that he bleached his hair blonde. That's what made him play better.
Apparently, that's a punishment from the team if they come late.
No, really?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. That's why Blake Tapp had it done before, and while Salmon had it done. Apparently, it's a thing a culture thing that they've accepted for each other.
So what happens when his hair starts falling out? I think Adam McDougall's when on that tour to Britain when they dyed their hair blonde, him and Rogers and can't remember who. I think Adam McDougall blames that for his hair starting to fall out. Being fair income, he's not the only one. I got a mate in school that used to dye his hair blonde. And he reckons he blames that for his hair falling out. Don't know.
Luke Thompson, call of the day. Weak gutted janitor. I love it. That's a great call. The weak gutted janitor.
Is that your former front rower from watching from England?
Oh mate, is that you? Is that you, Tomo? Do you want
that would be awesome, man. I reckon you could pass us a Tomo Red.
We got. I remember in 2024, when they were celebrating in front of the on Billwood Road, people thought I was James Graham for only 1 minute.
2014,
yeah.
Not 20. Yeah, okay.
2014, wow. Yeah. So Salmon's re-signed. Excuse me. I do get the feeling that next year.
Get us grade 10.
I do think next year that He will play more cup than he plays first grade. I think as Hayes comes on, as Jack Todd comes on, as more and more players start to cement themselves in the team, he will probably play a little bit less. But good signing, good depth signing nonetheless. And as we always say, you need a good top 30, not a good top 17. And he definitely
100%.
fits the bill.
Because you're going to get injuries and suspensions. You're naive to think you're not.
Yeah, 100%. Very quickly as well. Very, very quickly, because then I want to get on to when we think the Bulldogs are going to lose next. But
Not
the
the
Bulldogs
Souths.
Centre of Excellence, we've got the approval and the initial groundbreaking should happen for the Centre of Excellence. I do believe sometime either September or October. And yeah, we got the approval. Look, I hate Chris Minns as much as the next bloke. I think Chris Minns is a piece of shit in every single way. But good on the Dogs for being able to get the money. He's a dog supporter, unfortunately, and so that may have helped. But I can't wait for the Centre of Excellence. I think that what it will do for the area, what it will do for the community, what it will do for both our NRL and NRLW teams can't be understated. So it's great, great to hear that we've got this approval. Anyway, now I'm going to get his face off the screen. And now I want to show this. I'm going to do a bit of gloating while we discuss this, right? So the Dogs are first. We're on 10 points. We will be on 12, and we're going to be first for at least the next round. But now I want everybody. There's 48 of you watching me live, watching DIBBO live. I want you all, every single person, to tell me, when are the Bulldogs going to lose? When are we going to get our first loss? I want everyone to just type
Where's
it
the
in.
draw?
Oh, actually,
don't tell me you don't have the draw. Surely you can get the draw up.
I will get the draw.
So he's got the bye this week. Fantastic. That's great. Players recuperate. They were, some nice rehab. Some that probably don't get as much game time get to play New South Wales Cup if they're not on a bye. And then next week they got South in a cracking game. I think they're ready. I think they've projected 60,000 plus sales already. The way sales are going, South's got a big supporter base. Hopefully we get some game day drama like we saw with Jammer about a decade ago. Do you remember the fist pump in the ref's face? The
Bro,
fist wave?
I will never, ever forget that. Honestly, that was
gold.
That was ridiculous, man.
That was awesome.
That was fantastic.
I love that. Got to have a bit of drama. Can't. Eventually, if they just eventually they'll make the product boring if we don't get drama and characters of the game. He's probably one of the last few characters we had of the game. He was blessed. They were blessed to have him. He was a definite character. He's a standout. And a great player too.
Just give me 1 sec. I'll get it up.
That's all right. I wonder who they got after Souths. I'm confident they'll get past Souths. I mean, sure, Souths got Latrell back, but I mean, they only got past the Roosters, and that was on the back of Latrell digging them out of the hole every time. So this is the beauty of having a guy that's got a massive kicking game on him. So one of my mates, he noted that every time Souths made, say, they were in deep trouble because they couldn't make territory, give the ball to Latrell and he'd boom it on his left boot and get about 60, 70 metres on the fly. Well, that's great having, and that's what happens with Birdo. Not that Birdo can, if he can just kick us out of trouble.
And look,
the beauty about it.
Kick us out of trouble. So I'm gonna quickly
needed, but the way things, if needed, he's there. Oh, look at that. We're going sideways here. It looks deceiving that he's got buys back to back. So, he's got the buy, then he's got Souths.
So David A. Very quickly, David A. Fullday saying that Brisbane in Suncorp in 3 weeks will be a tough test and will sell out Suncorp. Right 100%. Out against the Donkeys will be our first loss. Norm Eder. Round 8, Zatar saying round 10. Jamie against the Raiders. Dogs of War is saying that Souths, Broncos, and Storm, they're the reference sister teams. Against the Tarek Ahmed, the Cowboys supporter, loyal to his team, is saying against the boys from Townsville. Maurice Collins is saying the Broncos. Zatra saying maybe Raiders around 10. Norm again, round 10. Maurice Collins is saying Raiders seem to be a bogey team, Dogs of War. So seems to be that a lot of people think that the Broncos are going to be our first loss. What do you think, DIBBO? I'm interested to hear what you think.
He's got a tricky game against Canberra. Look, he's got a good run. Look at this. I mean, Broncos, if they got a fit team and if you guys stay fit, that's going to be a cracking game. And if you don't lose to the Broncos, all right, Canberra could be a tricky game. I don't think the Roosters are going to be a tricky game. And then you might have a tricky game against the Dolphins. But then you got about another month after that because you got another 2 buys, like in the middle of the field. Then you probably got a bit of a toughish run. Penrith, depending on how Penrith are going. Then Brisbane and Cowboys. Cowboys away from home. And then you got and then he's probably finished the season tough. Melbourne, Penrith. Well, I don't know about Cronulla frauds, but he's got a really good run. Like you're looking at it, it's like, geez, this is a season that if he's hardly lose any games, like you're just looking at it, it's a great discussion to have, just the way things are going, especially last year.
Can I put one out there?
Yeah, undefeated.
I think that the Bulldogs will be out to smash the Rabbitohs based off what happened last year.
Oh, of course.
I don't think the Rabbitohs will come within QE of beating. It'll be a tough game. It'll be a tough game. It'll be a tough game. Look, Wayne Bennett will always be a tough coach.
Yeah, he's running out of troops.
He's running out of troops. I hope he brings out Lewis Dodd because I think
he's going to miss out.
I think Lewis Dodd. He's spent it this week, but not next. So this week, whoever they're versing, and then next week.
So underdone. It'll be ridiculous to put him there. Wouldn't Humphries be back?
Humphries is out for I think 4 to 6 weeks with a meeting. Yeah,
I think. What about Cody? Is he out as well?
Cody's out for 2 to 3 weeks. So Lewis Dodd, the dud, could be the player.
I think he's going to have
6 and 7. So I want, I want us to play them and smash them, but I don't know if we will. I think
we'll end up having a front row play at halfback.
I think this is probably the match of the year that I want us to play the best. Like this is the match. This is the match. I want the Bulldogs to come out and make a statement. Like I want them to.
Where the Broncos, the mighty Broncos.
The Broncos so far are pretenders.
We're the greatest team of all.
I don't really care what anyone says, right? I don't really.
Oh, they're behind you guys at the moment, definitely.
Even at their best, I think that the Broncos are absolute pretenders. They, even against a Tigers team without Luai, if it wasn't for some rubbish calls from the ref and just some inexperience from the Tigers, they could have the Tigers could have put one on them. I think the Tigers could have definitely beaten them. I actually tipped the Tigers. I think that the Broncos are reading into their own hype way too much. I don't think that they're as battle hardened or as.
I love this discussion.
No, not just as battle hardened.
No, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yeah, it's good to be. It's great.
I don't.
And there's every reason to be confident. Every reason to want that revenge.
And look, Adam Reynolds, strained his hamstring taking a kick. So, LOL to that, which is,
You're a prick.
I mean, the guy, is questioning whether he should be playing.
Hey, he's only 100. He's only 137 years old. Come on, man, lay off the bloke. Fair income.
Look, he played well, but it's clear that he should.
I'm sure if he gets out of bed, he's pulling the hamstring.
Become a coach. Get out there and just when your time's up, your time's up. In my opinion, I don't think the Titans will pose too much of a threat. They'll be tough, especially up there at Suncorp. But I don't know, on Magic Round. But I don't know if
I'll have to have a shocker against my whatever you want to call them, my Dragons, my Drag Queens, and then have a great game against you guys. But yeah,
they'll play well against us. They'll be better.
No, they'll play well against us. Because they had back-to-back wins and then they got tailed up.
But I think for feeder.
Good stat, David Felder. I like that. 88-14 since the 66-0. So he's at +8 ahead of him now. Well done.
Definitely. Well, I mean, in that season, they beat us. It was like 114-6 or something. So we're still a little bit off before we have full revenge. But point is, right?
Hey,
Point is,
can we have a vote whether you guys go undefeated? Like I'm looking, there's only about 3 or 4 hard games for you guys this year. I'm being fair income.
look,
I'm
my
absolutely being fair income because if you want me to run cricket, all right, Brisbane hard game, Gold Coast no, it's away from home. Oh, okay.
if
Anyways,
that's Magic Round, Suncorp Stadium.
oh, is it? Hopefully these guys
Yeah.
are all healthy. And then Canberra could be a tricky game, but then Roosters no, Dolphins are at home. I don't expect them to trouble you. Bye. Parramatta, hopefully he's put 60 on them. Souths again, don't worry about that. Bye. Penrith, I don't know any. Penrith are just confusing me this year. And then you got Brisbane at home. So
The
1,
first
2,
test, I think.
3. And then you got Cowboys away, 4 hard games. Don't worry about St. George. Don't worry about Manly. Frauds.
No, I
Tigers,
think
no. Warriors, no. He's all at home. Roosters, no. Melbourne's a tough game. He's got to be in Melbourne. And you got Penrith again. You got Cronulla. You've only got 4 or 5 hard games. Honestly, if your boys have kept maintaining the rage, I'd
I
love to be
agree.
in that position. Honestly, I remember being in that position many moons ago. And looking at the draw, I thought Dragons only lose about 3 or 4 that year. And I was right. That was 2010, of course. And I'm looking at your draw now. And if your boys stay healthy, maintain the rage, like, do you remember that season in COVID where Melbourne lost 1? I think Penrith lost 1, or Melbourne lost 2 and Penrith lost 1?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
looks
I
like,
remember that.
it looks like you could have a season like that.
Look, I don't think we're going to
Even
be.
Melbourne, I look at Melbourne's draw and I think, wow,
Yeah,
there's going to be 2 front runners.
but how inconsistent has Melbourne been? I don't think that Melbourne have been that great, right?
I don't know what happened, but something tells me Toulouse and George, there was a witch doctor involved because honestly, the video ref got a few calls wrong. I remember sitting quietly going, yeah, I'll take that because 99% of the time we don't seem to get the calls. So that was one
Bro,
reason.
Dragons
Jerome
get
Hughes
cocky.
wasn't playing.
Hey.
And then
Dragons
it was
are
raining.
a good team. Dragons are a good team.
Then it was raining. Don't forget. So Jerome Hughes, and then it was raining. So surely there was a witch doctor involved for that
Look,
to
let me tell
happen.
you something. Let me tell you something. The Dragons are a good team. They get cocky and then they let their leads slip. They should never
Suck
ever
shit.
have.
Suck shit. Lose to Souths and Parramatta. Suck shit.
By 1 point, it's
Suck
just
shit.
it's unacceptable. But Zata has pointed out there is the origin period. Look,
Not in the 95 grand final, they didn't, Norm. Anyways, that was 3 decades ago.
In the
Who
origin
remembers
period,
Steve Price scoring off a forward pass?
Yeah.
Anyways,
oh,
good memories. Good memories. Good memories. It was a try.
It was, but
He's won.
Anyway, relax.
It was a try, but
listen.
they won.
The origin period, I reckon maybe Birdo will miss the gates because he's 18th man again. I think Preston is a smoky for second row or bench. And I actually think Kiraz could be on the wing. If To'o doesn't come back in time from his hamstring injury and and Laurie Daly and the selection team thinks he's a little bit underdone, I honestly really reckon that we won't be too heavily affected in the Queensland period. It will also depend on like Marnie and the Queensland team. Does he get selected? Does Mann get a shot at the Queensland team? A lot of questions I think will come up in Origin, but I don't think we'll be that heavily affected. Even if we are, like Preston in the second row, we've got Sitili Tupanua, we've got Josh Curran, we've got Viliami Kikau, we've even got some of the younger guys. Harry Hayes can slot in the second row, so we have options to cover them. If you look at even Kiraz, if he gets chosen, we know that Enari Tuala, Blake Wilson, they'll both be able to do a job. And then if Burden gets selected, some clowns are even suggesting he could be better at 6 than Burden is for the Dogs. So we've got a lot of cover there.
Can I just get this straight? Who's your fitness coach?
Travis Tuma. He's
the one so it's actually Travis.
Yeah, he's the one that's been getting sued. He's the one that's getting sued by.
No, don't worry about that. Far out, man. Like that must be the fittest you guys have been since you had, renowned, fitness trainer Billy Johnston. Far out,
absolutely.
You guys don't look like he's even blowing at all during the game. It is crazy how they got it right about the utility. Remember, everyone made fun about utility and they're too small. I think we have to bring this up every week.
And I actually think that
Crazy how right they got it.
When I say like people should be looking like the teams that are a little bit lower that aren't performing, they should be looking at it. I feel like they're making the mistake of trying to go too big in the forwards without.
That game's gone beyond that. Thank
I think
God.
the game's gone way beyond that, right?
I hated it how you just had some big bopper come on because they could get all the rest in the world, and then the game was slow. I hated it because the game used to be. I remember the game was too fast at one stage to have, the really, really big boppers barely existed in the game. Like they were big boys, but they were athletic. I remember we had front rows of the caliber of Paul Harrigan, Mark Spud Carroll. Just to give you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah,
remember Paul Harrigan? Fuck, he moved like a centre.
It was
amazing. If you guys remember, guy was a freak.
But look how
he was big, lanky. But yeah,
but look at our second rows. Like Preston Slotty in at centre. If you look at Max King, like the bloke is so agile, so fit, so capable of playing. And so
but even people like Lazarus was very athletic when he was younger.
Lazarus is amazing.
But I know he's had Martin Bella, but he could move for a big man. If he remembers Martin Bella, he dropped the. He remembers that 94 grand final. I love growing up, love rugby league. Daytime grand finals. Off the kickoff, Terry Lamb lets the ball bounce, and poor Martin Bella knocked the ball on when Terry should have fielded that ball, and poor Martin Bella copped stick for that, and it just set the tone for the rest of the game. He's got walloped that day, but the good thing is he left the club, and the next year he's won the grand final against Manly in a good upset. So that's a good omen. Good year, 95.
Zata was mentioning it's only round 5. Some things are just having a cold start. Look, I completely agree with Zatar in that some teams are having a cold start, but I also think that it is very indicative of where teams are and how much better they can get when 5-6 weeks into it. We sort of see where their pain points are, and it's not like you can fix your defense overnight, right? Like Manly's attack is great, but the defense is questionable. Broncos very very similar. Their attack is great. They can bully teams with poor defensive systems, but I don't think they've actually come up against a good team yet.
Manly?
No, the Broncos. So they went up. They faced a Raiders team that the Raiders team that
that's why I'm saying
they got swatted.
Yeah, look, that's why I'm saying Canberra's tricky. That's why when I was saying the lineup,
that's the only one
like you don't know. It's weird. The Canberra loses games, and then you think, okay, back to Canberra, they'll probably scrape the 8th or make 9th, and then they go beat sides. Like they beat the frauds Cronulla over the weekend. Last week. How good was that?
They're another team. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like,
Cronulla frauds, Manly frauds. I can't call Brisbane frauds yet. Not yet. Like, everyone's going to lose that.
Look, I'm not saying they're frauds, but I'm also not saying that these guys.
No, they're not invincible. Definitely not. I would fancy St George's chances against them. It's something. It's a game you aim up at, and it's a game that Canterbury aims up on because Canterbury will be like, oh yeah, they beat us in the trials. We want to prove we're better than these guys because they're getting undue credit. We're undefeated. We want to show everyone, we deserve to be the premiership favourites this year.
And one of the biggest questions that people had over the Bulldogs last year was, can we beat top 8 teams? And this year we need to prove to the people that not only can we beat top 8 teams, but we're going to be able to smash top 8 teams. Like we clearly smashed the Sharks without four of our starters. Did a big number on the night, even though they played very well. Now it's like, okay, how do we perform against the Rabbitohs, who are also tipped to be a top 8? How do we do against the Broncos?
No, they'll fall short based on lack of personnel. Eventually, we'll catch up to them. They do. If they're all fit, they have the personnel, but they're copying a lot of injuries so early.
Look, they are.
It's going to catch up to them.
Look, they are, but
they can be called a top 8 squad. You're right.
Yeah, 100%. I think like it's the games that like my biggest fear is actually us maybe peaking too early and then fading away at the end of the season. That's where my fear is. That's all I'm hoping we can avoid. Because last thing I want to do is have a great run and then in the back end of the season lose, 4 of the last 5. That's not, it's not how we need to go about our season. I also don't think that we've hit our straps either, in terms of both attack and a little bit in defense. I think we can be better. So there's a lot of improvement in us. But the one thing that gives me a lot of confidence is that, a lot of people will be like, when are the Storm going to fade? They'd never fade. When are the Panthers going to fade? They never fade. And I feel like we could be in that position where we, don't fade and we can maintain the rage the whole season, especially with the team we've got, with people getting, a bit of a rest and stuff like that. I know like Burton and Kickout were resting, were sort of off because of an injury, but it's also a rest for their body. So, they potentially could help avoid that burnout. So I'm very confident that, out of 27 games with 3 buys, out of the 24 played games, I reckon we should be able to win. I reckon we'll drop 5 games max.
That's a good shout. Yeah. Even then, I don't want to think 5. I mean, 5. I think you're being very reasonable. Like they've had a cracking start to the season. They got Souths. They got the bye. I'm sure Brisbane's that next hard game, and then they got another good run. And then
we have a great run.
And it's probably just that month of football. And then
that's when the Bulldogs
break, and then he's finished off with a test towards the end. So yeah. Last year's grand finalists plus the frauds at the end. A fraud's a nice break, and then if you knock over the frauds, it's a nice setup for the finals.
And the other thing is we don't travel very often this year, so we only travel. We're the team that travels the least every single year, or this year every single round. So that's going to help us a lot in us staying energized, staying fit. So. I as I say, like I'm quite excited, man. I think that we could definitely give this competition a red hot crack.
100%. Silly not to say.
And I mean, as a fan, sure, I'm wearing my
have the belief.
I'm wearing biased, obviously my rose tinted goggles, but I do think that we have a potential if we make the top 4 to make it to the grand final, because I think like on our day, our defense can shut out any team. I am interested to see how we go against a Broncos and a full strength Broncos and a full strength Melbourne and a full strength Panthers. But other than that, I don't really see other teams giving us real headaches. And I think that we are actually going to be the headache. That's what we're going to. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I just want to quick. Timothy Gray's asking, do you expect the same result between the Broncos and the Roosters again this Friday evening? I think it's a good question, and no, I don't. I think that the Roosters will put in a spirited performance, but I do think that the Broncos will pip them just at the end. Thoughts on this one, Dibbo?
I think the Broncos are going to put 40 plus on the Roosters. I think it'll be about 20 plus ball game. Don't forget the game's at Suncorp, so you obviously get some hot hometown decisions playing up in Brisbane if you're from a Queensland side. I mean, the backline's not moving for the Roosters. Like, Chad Townsend, really? Well, he's better off blooding some youngster from reserve grade. We're 6 rounds in now. So
they did drop Townsend. They did drop the Chad for Hugo Savala. He will be.
All right, there you go. I'm sure you're going to get a better, regardless. And if he doesn't, you're getting the same result as you're getting Chad Townsend, but you're giving a young kid the experience he needs to potentially be their long-term half.
I don't know. I think.
Who is? Do you know more about this Hugo Savala or not really? Or
not really. It's the first time I heard of him. No, I saw the conversation happening, but I think it's unfair that Chad, the Chad is getting all the flack. Even at the Dragons, Lachlan Elliott gets all the flack. I don't think that this is the Chad problem or Lachlan Elliott's problem.
Oh, he's played first grade before. So
I think Trent Robinson is just not a very good coach. That's genuinely my opinion. I think
you need to give him the Australian testing.
I think he needs
week in, week out.
He needs to have 25 internationals and 5 Hall of Famers before he can do anything with the team. That's genuinely how I feel. And then he needs to have the ref on his side.
That's insane. This Hugo Savala is 194 centimeters tall.
Very big dude.
Well, hang on a sec. Who's in the 5'8"? Sandon Smith. He should play halfback. The other guy should be running the ball.
Yeah, 100%. I think that they will. I thought.
Mind you, Sandon Smith. I'll tell you now. Sandon Smith is pulling his weight.
I agree.
He's playing well.
100%.
I didn't expect him to play that well, but he's playing really well. Luke Thompson, you're on the money. 5 losses, years minor Premier's territory, spot on. That's where it's looking at this. You know, I'm saying top 2. It's looking like that. That's what it is.
I think we're in a good. I think we're in for a shot to be the minor premiers. Am I being cocky? Probably, but
don't worry, talk it up. Don't worry.
yeah,
You're doing
I
everything
don't
good.
mind. I don't mind if you think I'm being cocky. I do think that we, based on current form, unless something goes horribly wrong, I think we're in a position to, for the minor premiership. That's genuinely what I believe. Now, yes, Townsend did get dropped for the Roosters, and it's actually July for Sam Walker and June, I believe, for
I think it's
Brandon
not.
Smith.
Yeah, that's all right. I think it's more significant they get their halfback back. He
I
plays
agree.
really well.
You know, I don't know what, even if Brandon Smith wasn't injured, I'm not sure how much he would have done for them. I still, I still think about some of the decisions that the Roosters have made. They let go of Sam Verrills to bring over Brandon Smith. Like, what? Anyway, it doesn't make any sense to me. We haven't spoken much about the Dogs and Rabbitohs game. Haven't given any sort of discussion around it. Next week we'll be going live on Tuesday at 7:30 to talk all things Dogs versus Rabbitohs. We'll be previewing the game, talking about the crowd, talking about all the stuff that that referee, I forgot what his name was, that he's put us through. Next week we'll be talking about that. David A. Faldo saying ACCOR looks sold for 55 to 60,000 already with the Easter show attendance for the Good Friday game. Absolutely, I think it's going to be a massive game. I'll be there. We'll be doing the Kennel Fan TV outside the stadium before the game kicks off. I will give information on that next week so that we can, if you guys are in going to the game, we can meet, we can record some videos, we can have a bit of a chat, and when I upload it as the Kennel Fan TV, and it'll be something that we'll be running every week or every game that I can make it to, which hopefully should be most home games and some away ones. So I really look forward to that. Yes, Maurice Collins, that's right. His name is Gerard Sutton. They probably will have him as the excuse me. They probably will have him as the ref for the Good Friday game, but I don't think the boys are going to care. The Dogs will smash the Rabbitohs regardless of who it is. Now, I do want to go quickly over the draw for this week and get everybody's thoughts. Have a bit of a quick chat about the games coming up. I love talking about all the different rounds. So
I thought the Dragons were playing.
So this Thursday, the Dolphins and the Panthers up at Suncorp Stadium. What are your tips? What are you thinking there, Dibbo?
Well, sorry, I've got to mute that. Let's see. So, far out. Dolphins were scintillating on that last win. Bloody Panthers! Come on, man. 1-4, really.
So the Panthers do get Dylan Edwards and Scott Sorensen back into the starting side with Blaise Talangi starting at 5'8" in place of Jack Cole.
What happened to Jack Cole?
I think he's injured.
All right. What about the Dolphins? Who are they missing? Did they lose anyone, or did they gain anyone?
I think
know what? They're a champion team. I know they've lost Luai. I'm going to tip the Panthers because that's what champions do.
Look, I'm going to tip the Panthers as well because I think with Sorensen
and Dylan Edwards,
you
know what it is? I swear.
There.
Take Hammer out of the Dolphins team.
Who?
And the Hammer.
Yeah.
That guy's such a weapon, man. Far out. It's cheat mode. When he's on, it's cheat mode. Honestly. When he's on, the guy, how many tries do I want to score today? 3, 4. I could score 6, but...
Yeah, I just think... I think that the Panthers will have way too much experience for them.
I hope so.
Look, I thought they played well, but the Titans were horrible. I think David Fafita ran 4 or 5 times. So...
Why is he on the bench? For who? For Cleese Haas?
Pretty sure he started the game. Pretty sure he started this one.
For who? Bo Firmal. All right, Bo Firmal deserves to start. At least Haas ahead of him. At least there's no
No,
Payne Haas.
I think Fafita started last game. Pretty sure he
They
started.
got to put. You know what it is? They got to take that 15 off his back and just give him
Wait,
that number 11.
so give me your tips. Wait, before we go that tips, what are your tips for the Dolphins and the Panthers?
Panthers 8 by 8.
Good shout. I'm gonna say Panthers 13 plus.
Nice. Wow. Good. I like that.
Dragons Titans at Wynn Stadium.
Well, it depends if they can contain Jaden Campbell. Who comes back for the Titans?
So Tino is out.
Oh yes. All right, Dragons. Thank God. Something went right our way for once. Why is Tino out? Suspended.
Yeah,
I hope it's only suspension and not injury.
No, it's suspension.
Oh, I'll take that. Thank God. I love Tino.
Fafita's on the bench this week again.
Oh, thank God. Keep him there because he's a destroyer. And Jaden Campbell, if they can keep Jaden Campbell quiet, then they can win the game, and I'll have him up by 10.
Yeah, I'm going to say Dragons by 8.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game because the Dragons are just garbage.
Broncos and Roosters up at Suncorp.
Broncos 20.
Just keep in mind.
Look at this guy. He put up the lineup. Come on, man. It's Ben Hunt running the show now. He plays better when it's him running the show.
No, Adam Reynolds is named.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. They'll still win 20.
Yeah, looking at the team, I mean, look, I hate the Broncos, but I hate the Roosters more.
Where the Broncos?
I hope the Broncos. I'm going to say Broncos are going to win. I just hope it's 20 plus. This one I think is very interesting. Shark Park. I know in Perth, Optus Stadium in Perth, Sharks VC Eagles. I think this is an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Sharks. Manly got demoralised last week. I think that's going to hurt him, and no Jake Trebojevic as well makes a big difference. Whereas
Jake is meant is.
Oh, sorry, I meant no. Sorry, my apologies. Why do I even say Jake?
Tom Trebojevic.
Tom, yeah, I think Tom's a big loss. He's in any side is a big difference. That Turbo. I think the other Turbo brothers just live off how good he is. So I think. Honestly, the fourth brother could play reserve grade, and he's living off the other Tom.
I think
I'm going to go Cronulla. They got embarrassed by Canterbury. They want to answer their critics.
And by Canberra.
And by Canberra. My apologies, but more so Canterbury. But yeah, that
I don't know, man.
I think Cronulla need to bounce back.
Yeah, they've lost on the trot now. I'm going to say Sharks by 6.
Yeah, I was about to say 4 points, so I'm going to stick to that 4. It's a close game, but I think Cronulla will just get home.
And then a double header, Rabbitohs and Cowboys. The Rabbitohs are absolutely decimated with injury, so
I'm going to go Cowboys by.
They've got Ewan Aitken playing center. I mean,
you used to play there. I
know, but it's been a long time.
Yeah,
they've got Latrell at 6. Sullivan at 7. I thought Sullivan had his best game last week, by the way.
Whilst on that Souths team, how good was Latrell looking when he was slim? It reminds you of early career or mid-career Latrell at the Roosters. He had some toe about him.
Yeah.
Wow, was putting in kicks, like he was moving freely. He could decide the game on his own, but I'm still going to go Cowboys 4 points. But just remember, if they do get up, it's because of him.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting one. I like
who's playing halfback again?
Jaden Sullivan.
Oh, okay. He's capable, but I don't know with Sullivan. He hasn't kicked on. He was a great under 18s, under 20s player. Just hasn't kicked on. I hope he kicks on. I hope he does under Bennett.
I feel like if the Cowboys can be consistent, especially because they've got Ruben Cotter back at lock, I reckon the Cowboys will win this one. I think they'll win it, and they'll win it well. They're a better team than the Roosters, and I think they've got a better coach, even though I do think Todd Payton isn't the best. I do think he's better than Robinson. So I'm going to say Cowboys by 8. Then you've got the Eels against the Raiders up there in Darwin. Look, I think the Raiders are too hot, way too hot for the Eels. They play the type of footy that the Eels don't know how to defend against. I'm going to say the Raiders by plenty. The Eels will be good, but the Raiders will have a lot more to offer.
I hate Canberra, man. The fact that they'll go bet your teams that hardly anyone can beat, and then they'll go play rubbish sides like Parramatta and go lose. So this is what Canberra has got this trend the last 10 years. They make it difficult. I'm going to go Canberra, hopefully by plenty. 16
Yeah, I'm
points.
definitely gonna go Canberra.
Hopefully they give Parramatta the wooden spoon. But anyway,
My only concern for Canberra is because they play in Canberra and they're more used to the cold. I don't know if.
But you know what's funny? They'll then go play, say, Melbourne, who've won 15 straight in Melbourne and beat them.
Yeah.
And then the next week they'll go play, say, someone like Gold Coast at home and lose by 14. And then the following week go beat another team that's hard to beat. Like, it's a trend with this team.
Yeah, I think the Raiders will win.
I hope they punish him. I want to see Parramatta.
Yeah, me too. All right, so Melbourne and Warriors, Storm and Warriors down there in Amy Park.
Good game. Warriors are deservedly top 4, but yeah, I'll let you say your tip first.
I'm gonna say the Warriors. I don't know why. I just feel like there's gonna be a massive upset.
No, I'm going to say Melbourne because they were absolutely scintillating last week. It's like they got the big wake-up call the week before against St. George. Jerome's back. I thought he came back early, but wow, he was scintillating. I'm going to go Melbourne by 14. Could be more, but I'm going to stick by 14.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this about the Warriors. There have been a lot of rumors recently that Charles Nickel-Klukstad doesn't want to re-sign with the club and he's going to the Super League, and that Tamari Martin is not happy because obviously he's not playing first grade, and that he's also going to the Super League. Right? Now, I'm worried that that's going to destabilize the team and put them off their game. Although, I reckon like Charles Nickel-Klukstad is a professional and he won't allow it to impact the way he performs.
Wow.
I also think this game...
Zata having a go at you, but anyways.
Sorry, I've sort of,
I think you got to apologise to Zata, but he didn't like you.
Melbourne 30+. I don't think so. I don't think Melbourne 30+.
Oh, I'm just saying 14, but could be plenty if they turn it on or not. Look, Krookstar, good for him. If he wants a payday, he's about, 29 now? I mean, your body doesn't hold up forever. Falls apart, man. Honestly, get as much as you can out of your career, because you're just going to, you're putting your body on the line. That shit hurts.
No, I'm not...
I don't know what Tamari Martin's complaining about. The other boys are playing well and they're winning games.
I think that Tamari Martin is twice the player that Shans Nickel-Klukstad is. I don't know why.
No, Tamari's a half though these days.
Yeah, but
Metcalf's been great. I mean, him and Chanel Tavera, you could almost say they should have lost that game against the Tigers, but they hung in there. And that Halasima, I didn't know he was only 19. That was second rower going down the line. Yeah, God damn.
Insane. That was a mad run.
He was running like a center. He's a second rower.
I'm telling you, this is going to be the upset of the round. I reckon that the Warriors, and the Warriors know that this is the game that's going to make or break them. If they go down to the Melbourne and get smashed, this will be the precedent of them versus.
If the Warriors win, I swear I'm going to take you out for some beef chow mein.
But I'm telling you, this is the one. This is the one that's going to prove that the Warriors are a true contender. Not a grand final contender, but the Warriors are back. I genuinely believe that. And I reckon it's going to be an upset. I know you guys may not agree. That's my sort of hot tip for the week. And then the final game that we've got will be the Knights and the West Tigers up there at McDonald's Jones.
Far out, another crap game. So last round was pretty crap games. It's just the sides made it look rubbish. I don't like how these two teams play.
I'm a big
There's nothing,
fan.
especially Newcastle. Like Tigers can turn it on, but I don't like this game at all.
I'm a big fan of massive fan of the Tigers. I reckon the Tigers are going to put a number on them. Gerald Skelton is back this week out over there on the wing. They've got Jerome Luai who's back, who makes a big difference to their team.
I don't even want to tip this game. Who's in the four? Kai P-Paws is back.
Kai P-Paws back.
Should go play for a better club. I reckon.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, I reckon some better club should sign him.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't like him at Newcastle. The Roosters should go sign him. He'll be brilliant there.
I think that the Tigers bench has been really good. I think Talon De Silva coming on for Api has caused a lot of havoc. So, honestly, the way I'm looking at it,
I I'm going to go West. Oh, you know what? I swear, I'm inclined to tip Newcastle, but can you just go down quickly? Brodie Jones in the front row. Who's on the bench quickly?
So Matt Arthur will make his debut for the Knights. Tyrone Thompson, who's Leo Thompson's twin, and then Jermaine McEwen, who had a great game I thought against the Dogs, and Matt Croker.
I'm going to go far out. I'm going to go Tigers.
Just quickly, also to point out, Phoenix Crossland is at 7. They've put Phoenix Crossland at 7 and refused to put Jackson Hastings there.
Remember last year at 7, Crossland, they killed it. Remember? They went like 8 games undefeated or 10 games.
They were okay. I just feel like the Tigers forward pack will be better. We'll just have too much.
You know what it is? Crossland, he plays with freedom. He's expansive in the half. He played like that last year. He's expansive.
Yeah, he is.
He plays with freedom. I think that's going to work for him. Just hopefully not this round.
It may work, but I just reckon that the Tigers are going to have way too much. Like even against the Broncos, I think that if Latu Fainu doesn't go off injured, I reckon that the Tigers were a better chance of winning that game. I reckon they could have had a chance of winning. They
should have won it, but somehow the Tigers pulled the rabbit out of the hat. Like those halves for the Warriors stuck in there, and then Halasima down the line, and they always manage to pull something out.
But I'm gonna go Tigers by 12.
Yeah, I'm going Tigers by 2, even though they got Phoenix Crossland in the halves. But don't be surprised if they turn it on the Knights with him in the halves. But I'm going to stick Tigers by 2 points.
Well, now just quickly, Zatar is saying Tigers are their own worst enemy for 20 minutes every game. 100% agree with you.
They've been like that every game. You're right.
yeah. It's a great call. Tigers will smash Knights. Where Knights are goons score. Jarrell Skelton will leak 2-3 tries. I don't think so. I think he's been quite defending quite well when he's played, and then is different opinions on different games. If you guys want to see all the comments, jump onto YouTube. The comments will all be there for you guys to have a look at as you sort of rewind.
I love all your, Zata, you've been there from the start. Jamie Legend still on. Channel E still around. Some person, new, looks like a new person watching. Lana K has been commenting a lot.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Look, Channel E.
You know what? Channel E? No, I don't. I'll disagree with you. If you ever go to a game, the most grubbiest fans and most annoying fans and biggest losers to watch a game with at the game is the West Tigers fans. What a bunch of losers.
I've got some Tigers.
Trust me. Man, you know what? Go on social
media. Let me read his comment. Let me read his comment.
No one likes
Tigers succeed for supporters' sake. I thought Bulldogs, their losing era was long. Hats off to the Tiger fans. I agree with this comment, and I like the team. I like Galvin. I like Luai. I love Dream Buller. Very, very
good fan of fans. End of story.
I think the Fainu brothers are full of potential. Could become the next Trebojevic family or whatever. I think that they're a great family. And
one of those,
I don't like the Knights. I think the Knights are a shit team with a shit coach. Unfortunately.
Imagine playing for that club.
And I think that they deserve all the failure that they get. Manly fans are the worst. Look, I agree. I hate Manly fans. I think on equal footing with Cronulla fans, all 6 Cronulla fans are the worst.
Cut those frauds some slack. 6 of them.
But with that, we have been streaming now for just under
10
hours.
Missed dinner.
We love you guys. We love all your support. Please, before you go, just give this video a thumbs up one more time. If you haven't, just make sure that we pump us into the algorithm. Thank you so much for everyone that stuck by. Jamie Teasdale, Hassan Zatar, Morris Collins, Lana K, Norm Eder.
Mate,
who else is there?
Can we get into the studio next
Channel
week?
E.
I want to get some
Luke
players
Thompson.
on.
I pray that we get into the studio next week.
I want to get some players on. Get us in the studio, mate. Fair income.
I know. I want to. I really, really want to. I'm dying to get back into the studio. I promise we're going to try and get into the studio hopefully next week. If I can get the studio this week, we'll go live again. How about that? How about that, Dibbo? If we get the studio this week, I'll go live.
It's going to be. Quit your day job, get the studio ready, right? And then I want to go live with a player on the studio.
Fuck, let's do it, brother. We've got heaps of shit planned. We've got more than just players. We've got so many different people coming on, but I swear we can't do it until the studio is ready. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you go for the doggies, enjoy the buy. Watch the Eels lose. Watch Mandy lose. Watch Nice lose. If you go for any other team, I hope your team does all right, unless you're the Eels. With that, thank you very much, guys.
Good ending.
We love you. We love you. We love all your support. We look forward to seeing you same time next week, 7:30 from the studio, God willing. Thank you very much and enjoy
No more wins
your
for Para.
week.
See you.